134th. We'll be coming to it.
All right.
Where the station is.
Do you have that? Is that rolling now?
It is now.
All right. What was the connection between Mr. Tukich and your dad, our grandfather?
Well,
How did they become friends? Do you recollect?
I tell you what, we had a butcher shop, and we were going bankrupt or something about just before.
All right. Now we're Brandon. So where was Mr. Tukich's house? This is 100.
Turn left, then, please. Oh, that'd be the White House here. No, up farther. Then.
Oh, wait a minute. And was this Mr. Tukich's house here on the left?
Yeah.
This White House?
This White House here, and this was a shop, and we didn't own this. We didn't own this place, but we evidently rented.
On the first floor. Did Mr. Tukich live above?
Yes, he did, and I think for a while we lived in the back afterward. But anyway, what happened is we went bankrupt because my father was a poor businessman. He gave everybody credit, they didn't pay, and they're taking the business away from him. And somehow he made sure that Mr. Tukich got the credit for it. Yeah. It was a little bit underhanded, but he made sure that Mr. Tukich made out. And he was a sharp man with real estate.
What do you mean made out?
Well,
What? So did the business go bank? Did Mr. Tukich buy the business from your father?
my father, I think, almost gave him the business.
Okay.
Because he was losing it.
Okay.
And in turn, he helped my parents out in California. You know,
Well, he did more than that. Wasn't he a friend here all the time?
Here too, yeah. But he
So now, who lived in this house? Remember, we were here.
the Novaks.
Now, was that the guy who we met when Jenny was here? I don't know if you remember this. There was a guy. He called himself Ace, I think. He was a World War II veteran. He was.
Yeah.
Who was he? Do you remember? Or do you remember that not?
Ace. Was that the fellow that was?
When Jenny was here with me, you and Mom, that one time when this goes back, Jenny was in college.
And they had the flowers. Remember they had a lot of flowers here?
Okay.
Okay. I remember him. I also remember the other fellow.
Did he live here is what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I mean. The Novaks lived
there. But was his name Novak?
Yeah, Novak.
Okay.
And right at the corner there, at the corner was a Greek coffee house.
Which side, Dan?
To the left.
Okay. This is the first time I've been here where it's been a little bit overcast. It's always been a nice sunny day when we've been here, or I've been here at least.
No, this is actually good weather to film.
Yeah.
Could you make a U-turn and just go?
Here, see, this is a little Greek coffee house.
Which one did? There's two buildings.
The corner one.
Okay.
Where the red is?
Where the red is. But it could have even been this one, but I don't think so.
Okay. Well, that's at least descriptive. So one of these two buildings was a Greek coffee house. And what was significant about that? Anything?
Well, the guys would say play dominoes and
So would you be walking up and down here?
yeah, walking up and down. And right behind there, Mr. Tukich, who was an entrepreneur, remember, he ordered some sugar. A flat car of sugar. Everybody had to have sugar for their
So would you have lived back over in there, maybe?
yeah. Someone tells me we lived in there.
But this
Before
house.
we bought, now 1920, I was maybe 6 years old.
So back before you moved to the 13417, you were there
Uh-huh.
for a little while. How long were you on the Baltimore Avenue address?
Not long.
Where Uncle Joe was
He
from.
was born. Afterward, we can.
Was this always a tavern? Do you reckon?
Oh yeah. Always a tavern.
All right, then we're gonna go
here, we had
Now, what's the significance coming up here on either side of the road?
This is the main drag. This is Baltimore Avenue. Now, was this a? This looks like it might have been a hotel at one time.
yeah, it was yeah. And
Wait, yeah,
this year had a little station over here that you could dump off freight on here.
All right, so this building here on the corner, was this always like a some kind of hotelish
yeah,
or?
it's something like that.
The 13501?
Yeah. Is it? All right, so that's. All right, so this is the way I always normally see this. Is Baltimore Avenue is the main drag, but there's rarely any cars driving on it.
Now Baltimore had a streetcar line, I believe.
Okay. Now this is the main. This is where the VFW and all this other stuff is.
Now see, we did. You would picture at that time so many overhanging lights, wires here everywhere.
Okay.
Everything was electrified.
And there was rails down the street here?
Yeah, rails.
Oh, and here's that Hegewisch sign.
Oh yeah, no, that's this is coming up to the main drag. Now, Dad, looks like they're doing some construction that wasn't here just when Uncle Joe was here. Now we're coming up to 13313.
33.
33, which is this building here on the right where it says a road construction. This is where Uncle Joe was born
Yeah.
and Dad lived.
Can you say that one more time?
It says it right.
This is
side.
13333.
And we Dad owned a barber shop and a pool hall here.
At this address right here?
Right there.
And you lived above?
And we lived up above. And next door to it was what they call a haberdashery shop. A Jewish couple owned it. And they sold
across the street.
sweaters.
It was a clothing store.
And here's the Hegewisch Theater.
This was like the main drag, but it's always like a big old. Yeah, so you would go to the Hegewisch Theater, Dad, how often?
Yeah, we had a new one.
And you would walk over here?
Yeah, Mom and mainly Mom would take me, and especially if it was cold weather, she had a big.
Did you
I
ever?
always take my teddy bear.
Did you ever go here on your own?
Oh no, I was too young then. But she'd take me and we'd see, and at that time, you could smoke in there, talk in there.
Well, most
You-
people talk, and most people do talk.
How many seats were in there, Dad?
It looks pretty
Maybe
small.
50 or so. But anyway.
Was it always pretty crowded when you were there?
It was always crowded. It was cheap. Everybody before the Depression, movies took over so much that
How much would it have cost to go there?
maybe a nickel or a dime at the most.
Okay.
And people just gravitated to seeing movies all the time.
All right, let's swing around and go back to the. So
And you got a picture of the Hegewisch gym?
Mm-hmm.
He's been taking it all of them. Here's the Hegewisch Chamber of Commerce. And now here's the house from the other.
Okay. Now, Dad, in that house, you said, how long did you live in there? Do you remember, like, looking out any of these windows on the top?
Well, I would have only been 3-4 years old.
Oh, okay, so I can see you wouldn't remember too much
Yeah,
of it.
so you were a toddler. You lived
Yeah.
here until. Now, from here, then you went to the 134th address, or not really?
No, I think we went over to Tukic's was for a while. Then moved there after we.
Okay, so sorry. So you went from here over to the Tukic's, and then the Tukic's over to
Yeah.
Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Or
No,
not, I said Green Bay, I meant
Buffalo.
Buffalo. Okay. Now
And
I've
of course,
got
we didn't have any Mexican restaurants. This is all Polish or
So did your
Yugoslav.
father have a car then?
Nobody had cars.
Well, somebody had cars.
Yeah, somebody did.
So your father did Mr. Tukich have a car? Do you recollect?
I think he had the use of a car.
Okay.
Because he always dressed in a business suit, He's always an on
So
top of it.
how did everyone get around? Most people, if they didn't have a car, what would they do? Just everything was within walking distance for
In
the most.
walking distance.
Okay.
You thought nothing of walking 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks.
Okay, sure,
You know, and it was a way of life.
of course. Okay.
Until we, 1930,
Oh wait, we couldn't. Wait. There was some street noise here. Starting to get dead.
we didn't have a car until 1936 or 37 when we
Now you graduated from high school. What year?
1937.
Okay, so did you ever drive to high school?
Never.
Okay, so
Everything was public transportation.
okay.
I remember in 1936, I wrote an article for Popper Mechanics, one of these little squibs, and what it was how to sharpen certain things. I don't recall what the article was, and I won a $25 prize, which was a tremendous amount of money.
Sure.
With that, I was so excited, I went all the way downtown with it, bought a typewriter downtown, and carried it on the streetcar.
Okay. So you bought a typewriter and you carried it on the streetcar?
Yeah, everybody did that. I remember going to 18th Street for a battery. At the 18th Street, there was Automobile Road. Here I brought a battery on the car, on a streetcar. And that's the way you got along.
Okay.
And the car we had was a Rio, which means ransom EOs. It was an Oldsmobile. He had to change. He sold the name Oldsmobile to General Motors.
All right. Now, what about now? When you graduated from high school, did you recollect? Was there a? Did your parents go to the school for graduation? Do you remember anything about that?
I'm sure they did.
And if
Sure
they
they did,
did,
of
if
course
they
they
did, how would they have gotten there?
Maybe we got a lift
Okay.
from someone.
Okay.
Every once in a while, someone. Now here we're approaching the ill-fated, too bad. This was the restaurant, Cousin's restaurant, and here's the.
No,
Yes,
these
okay.
cars go past. Just 1 second, Dan. What were we going to say now?
I wonder if this guy's going to go over to the. Looks like he's. It
Here.
looks like one of the guys going to go.
Continue
to,
your thought, Dad. What is
and
over
post,
here?
He's going to go post 272. Let's see if he turns in.
All right, now it says on top, it says Arcade Hall. What does that mean?
I don't know, but some of these buildings were real old. Now, this place that burned down here was built in the 1880s. Let's see if he makes his turn. Yep.
So is that the place you guys go for the Legion Hall where you get the shot and the beer?
Yeah.
So he is closed. This place had the Opera House, built in 19...
Where?
Right here that burnt down here.
This empty lot here?
Yeah, in the 1880s, and evidently it drew on a lot of people from let's see if the school is the church is ahead.
Hey, Dave, you keep on cutting off. You cut yourself
I'm
off in mid-sentence. I don't know
Well,
if
I
you
want to
realize
see
that.
the church.
All right, where was your church?
It was up further.
Okay, I was just letting you cover. Yes. See the
Although
size
we
of-
weren't
see.
too regular churchgoers.
It doesn't matter. We were just wondering where it was. So there seem to be other churches that were closer, but here's something coming up ahead. Oh,
St.
Here's a
Florian's.
pizzeria. Here's Steve's. Look at, we could have went.
Boy, that was Steve's was a big dance hall. Big weddings there.
How come we never went to eat over there?
No, that's a banquet hall now.
No, that looks like there's a sit-down thing over there. We'll turn around. All right, now here's a Catholic school, and it looks to be a church. It's St. Florian's. Right.
That's the church.
Okay, now, you didn't go to school here?
No,
Was there do you recollect the reason why?
because
Was there a school there? Let me ask
It
you.
was St. Florian's. They taught a lot. Most of the lessons were in Polish.
Okay, but do you recollect why you didn't go to school there? Was it no? There was never really any discussion about it, or what?
No, evidently not. We felt comfortable going to Clay School.
Well, I can imagine, but I'm asking if you went here. Never mind.
We just went there. We were not regular churchgoers.
Okay. I'm trying to see.
My
what
mother would have. My dad had a little bit of a.
Oh, this is one way. Okay, your dad would have had one.
He and a lot of the men had problems with the church, whatever it was. Here's a man park, and this was really at the time the Hegewisch Reds were so good at baseball they even beat the junior White Sox.
Now, would you come over here?
Oh yeah, we'd go here and watch baseball games.
Would you ever come over here and play or whatever?
No, we only played at Mackinac Avenue. I recall we might have lived here, maybe when they first came to Hegewisch, before before Joe was born even.
At one of these homes here, you
One
mean?
of these homes, then we got to that home at 133. Because I remember playing a load of lumber around here.
All right, well, you would have only been like 1 or 2 years old. I mean, are you sure you would have remembered that?
Was
Yeah,
it pretty
I remember.
common to for people to move so many times in just in the same neighborhood? Was it pretty?
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. But we, I don't know why, but we did. But we settled in.
Well, I think that because they were shopkeepers, so you moved around a little bit. So, wait, I think this is the front of the church. Do you recollect any of this?
Yeah, I recollect some, but
Okay.
not too much.
Was there ever any